हरि ओम हरि ओम। ओ ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री दुर्गाये नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्य देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan advises Arjuna to follow the path of Karma Yoga. And through Arjuna, Bhagwan is advising all of us to follow the path of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga itself graduates to become Upasana and Bhakti. In Upasana also Karma is involved. In Bhakti also Karma is involved. And even in Shravana and Mananam, Karma is involved. So all of them are the path of Karma only. So when we sincerely follow the path of Karma, dedicating all our actions to Ishvara, our Antakarana becomes pure and we gain knowledge of our own self. With the help of our teacher, we gain the knowledge of ourself, and we, through Shravan and Manan, we gain conviction that yes, I am this self which is Brahma. So when we gain this firm conviction, then we become fit for karma sannyas. Because along with karma sannyas, when we meditate, then we gain abidance in our own self, we gain moksha. So karma sannyas is very important. So Bhagavan says, one who has gained this knowledge should look at all the activities as happening in the body, mind, etc. are just happening according to the swabhava, but I am not doing anything. Naiva kinchit karomiti. And when a person follows this path of karma sannyas and dhyana, he gains firm abidance in his own self and comes to know and remains happy within, even when the body and mind keeps on functioning according. So even when the mind and intellect and the body functions, he knows that it is functioning according to the prarabdha, but I, the Supreme Self, am not doing anything. The self doesn't take the papa or punya of anyone. So when one gains firm abidance in this self, which is Brahma, one becomes free of all the impurities and attains that state, that of realization from where there is no more birth, there is no more samsara. Such an enlightened person looks at the whole world as expression of that Brahma alone. So when he looks at a Brahmin or a cow or an elephant or a dog eater, he sees the same Brahma in all of them. Panditaha samadarshinaha. A pandit, a wise person, becomes samadarshi. He sees that sama Brahma in all these different expressions, different beings. He sees the same Brahma. So the question is that isn't it adharma to see, to understand, to acknowledge a Brahmin and a cow and an elephant at the same level? So Bhagavan says, no, it is not dosha, it is not adharma, because this enlightened person is abiding in that Supreme Self. One who is ignorant and one who does vyavahar, then at the level of vyavahar, at the level of transaction, we should pay attention to the differences and accordingly deal with everyone. Give proper respect to people according to their status, etc. But when a person is established in that Brahma, then there is no difference for that person. He sees the same truth everywhere. So there is a very beautiful shloka which says, Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat, kriyadvaitam na karhichit. That one should have that bhava of Advaita in everyone, that everyone is an expression of that same reality. But when we are doing kriya, when we are doing transaction, then we should pay attention to the differences. But an enlightened person doesn't do even that transaction with the world. He has gone beyond all activities because he is fully established in that Brahma which is free from all activities. That's what now Bhagavan says in the next verse, verse number 19. Bhagavan says, Ihaiva tairjita sargaha yesham samme stitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te stitaha. Bhagavan says कि इहैव तैहि जितः सर्गः एषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः. That enlightened person's mind is fully established in samya, in that samatva, in that equanimity, in that truth which is equally present everywhere. So that's called the mind established in that samya, in that which is common, which is pervading everything. Therefore, such an enlightened person has conquered his life, his birth, here and now. Ihaiva taihi jitas sargaha. Sarga means his birth. Means he has attained the fulfillment of his birth even while living in this world. One whose mind is established in that samatva, in that Brahma which is saman in all, that person has conquered his birth. Means he has attained the fulfillment of his birth. Means he has attained Jivan Mukti here and now. So, ihaiva tair jitas sargaha esham samme stitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma. That Brahma is nirdosham. That Brahma is equally present everywhere. But there is no dosha for that Brahma. The Brahma remains ever pure. Though it is present equally in a holy place and a dirty place also. Brahma is present in a Brahmin also, Kshatriya, Vaishya, dog, cat, mouse, in all beings. Brahma doesn't get contaminated because of its presence in different forms, in different beings, in different places. Brahma always is pure. Even when it expresses in the dirtiest place, it is pure. Even when it expresses in holy place, it is pure. It is same in all. Nirdosham his samam Brahma. That Brahma is nirdosha, samam, equally present everywhere. Brahma is not more in a holy place or less in another place. Brahma is not more in Manas Sarovar or Kailash or in Haridwar, Rishikesh. Brahma is same everywhere, in all the places. And it remains free from all dosha, free from all defect. So, nirdosham hi samam Brahma. And tasmat brahmani te stitaha. The mind of a enlightened person which is established in that samatva, in that which is common everywhere, is established in Brahma only. Tasmat brahmani te stitaha. An enlightened person is established ever in Brahma. The knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. The knower of Brahma is established in Brahma. See, there is a very beautiful story about Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji. He was in Varanasi with his disciples. So he took a holy dip in Gangaji, and he was going to that Kashi Vishwanath temple. So as he was going on that narrow lanes, he saw one Chandala in front of him, a dog eater, along with lot of dogs and dirty dress. He was standing in front of him, and Shankaracharya ji has just taken a holy dip in Gangaji, had cleaned himself. So when he saw this Chandala, he looked at him and he told him, "Gacha, gacha, move away from my path." So the Chandala looked at Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji and asked him that you are saying "Gacha, gacha, move away." What do you want to move away from? What? Annamayad annamayam athva chaitanyam eva chaitanyat. He Dvijavara bruhi gacha gacheti. Kim bruhi gacha gacheti? That, oh dear Brahman, you are saying gacha gacha, move away. What you want to move away? You want to move this, you want me to move away this Annamay Sharir from your Annamay Sharir? Or do you want me to move that Chaitanya which is in me and in you? Then he went on to say that the sun is not different when it gets reflected in the Ganga water or in some dirty water. The sun remains same, pure. The space in a mud pot and a space in a gold pot doesn't change. The space remains same. So there is no difference in that supreme reality when it expresses in different forms. So when Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji heard this, so he immediately recognized his own mistake. He did namaskar to that Chandala, and such an amazing thing happened. The Chandala transformed, and in front of him he saw Sakshat Bhagwan Vishwanath, Bhagwan Shiva standing in front of him and blessing him. Bhagwan wrote that beautiful stotra, Manisha Panchakam, in praise of Lord Shiva. Ki Chandalostu Satud Dvijostu Guruhu Ittesha Manisha Mama. That whether a person is Chandala or a Brahman, but one who is established in that truth is my Guru, is most holy, is most worshipful. So an enlightened person sees the presence of that supreme reality in everyone and everything. His mind is established in that Brahma. Therefore, as far as that enlightened person is concerned, there is no dosha in his vyavhar. There is no dosha in his drishti. But an ignorant person should do vyavhar, seeing all the differences. So, ihaiva tairjitas sargaha esham samme sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. So, they are always established in that Brahma. Therefore, Bhagwan Shri Krishna advises the Karma Yogi in the next verse, In the first line of the next verse, Bhagwan advises the karma yogi, and in the second line, he again talks about the enlightened person. So, verse number 20. Na pravrusyet priyam prapya, no dvijet prapya cha priyam, stira buddhirasam mudhaha, brahmavid brahmani stitaha. Bhagwan says कि न प्रवृश्येत प्रियम प्राप्य नो द्विजेत प्राप्य च अप्रियम. Therefore, a karma yogi should practice this samatva. That samatva of the mind should be practiced. Even when we face different situations in life, even when we have to face different people in life, even when we have to face different objects in life, we have to keep that samatva in our mind. Vyavhar can be different, as I said, but that samatva should be kept in mind, that everything is expression of that same Brahma. That Brahma Buddhi should be held deeply in our antakarana. It will keep getting disturbed, it will keep getting away, but one should hold on to that understanding that everything is divine, everything is an expression of that supreme Brahma. So Bhagavan says, na pravrusyet priyam prapya, na udvijet prapya cha apriyam. So when we get something which is very dear to us, which is of our liking, we should not get excited about it. And when we get something which is not dear, we should not get disturbed by it. We should not get disturbed by whatever we get in life, priyam or apriyam. Na pravrusyet priyam prapya. One should not get totally excited with joy. Getting something priyam, seeing something priyam, getting something priyam, either object or a person or a place. Some people get too much excited when they go to certain places and become totally dejected in other places. Some people get too excited with some objects and feel dejected with other objects, or get excited with some people and get dejected with other people. The vyavhar can be different, but in our mind, that samatva should be kept. Everything is an expression of that same Brahma only. Everything is same, though expressions are different. That is the very nature of this world. The world is made up of good and bad. The world is made up of pap and punya. The world is made up of dharma and adharma. All these mixtures are there in this world, but it is all pervaded by that same reality. See, just as in our house, there are different rooms in the house. There is a kitchen where all the food is being cooked. There is a dining place where we sit and eat. There is a living room where we spend our time. There is a bedroom where we go to sleep. There is a bathroom where we clean ourselves. So different rooms are there, but all of them are one house only. Similarly, this whole world is like a house, a Vishvachimhaze Ghara, and there are different expressions in them, but all of them are expressions of that one Brahma. So Bhagwan is advising a karma yogi here to try to keep your mind as balanced as possible. He had said this before also while talking about karma yoga. Bhagwan says, Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That samatha itself is yoga. That you keep a balance in your heart. Keep your attention on that Brahma. But do your vyavhar according to the situation, according to the time, according to the circumstances. But hold on to that supreme truth all the time in your heart. Later on also in 8th chapter, Bhagavan advises Arjuna that you fight this war, but keep me in your heart. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. You fight. But even while fighting, don't forget me. Keep me in your heart. Even when Hanumanji was going to Lanka, he kept Bhagwan in his heart. He meditated on Bhagwan Sri Ram, and he held on to that feeling and held on to Bhagwan's feet throughout his journey. So same Bhagwan is advising, you don't get too excited by good things in this world, and don't get too depressed with other things. Keep your balance and deal with everything according to the situation. Means see the same truth in a sinner also and in a good person also, but deal with them differently according to the situation. But in your heart, keep that vision, because that vision will purify you. That vision will make your mind more and more balanced. That vision will tune you to that Paramatma. See, you must have observed great singers, the classical singers. They sing different ragas, and they have their accompaniments sitting around them, playing different instrument. So somebody is playing the tanpura, and it is giving that one shruti constantly, or one or two shruti constantly, sa or pa and all. So throughout their singing, they might change their swaras all the time, they might do all sorts of things, but the shruti is kept constant, and they will keep their ears totally tuned to the shruti. Because if they miss it, then they will go wrong everywhere. Their raga will go wrong, their swara will go wrong, their tala will go wrong, their bhava will go wrong, and the whole music will collapse. So they keep an attention on that shruti and they sing. Similarly, Bhagavan says, while living in this world, keep attention on that samatva. Because if you get too excited with something which you like and you get, and too depressed with something which you don't like, then you will miss your attention on that Supreme Brahma, because He is present everywhere. He is present in the good, He is present in the bad, He is present in all situations, at all times, in all places, in all persons. So, na pravrushet prapya priyam prapya na udvijet prapya cha apriyam. So this is a practice for a karma yogi. But a person who is well established in the truth, for that person this is just his natural expression. That person, Atmadhyani, is stira buddhihi asammudaha. That Atmadhyani's buddhi has become stira, means he has become stita prajna. His buddhi has become stira in what? Shankaracharya ji writes, Kincha sarva bhuteshu ekah samaha nirdosha atma iti stira nirvichikitsa buddhihi. His buddhi has deeply understood and is convinced and is established in that understanding that sarva bhuteshu ekah samaha nirdosha atma, that in all beings there is that one atma which is saman in all, equal in all, and free from all defects. So his buddhi is stira in this understanding. See, just as we have this understanding that I am present in the entire body, though I may pay attention to some part of my body and neglect some other part, but I know that I am present equally in each and every part of my body. If a person takes a pin and asks me that where should I poke this pin in your body, show me that part which is not so you don't like so much, I will say no. I like each and every part of my body. I don't want you to poke this pin anywhere in my body, just for fun. Similarly, an enlightened person sees the presence of Brahma in each and every part, in each and every person, in each and every being of this world. And in that understanding, his buddhi has become sthira. So, sthira buddhihi, asammudaha, there is no moha, there is no confusion. This is his direct understanding and direct experience. See, when we do Shravana, we come to know that I am Brahma. When we do Mananam, we are convinced that I am Brahma. But when we do Nididhyasan, Dhyana, then we gain direct understanding, direct realization that I am Brahma. So then that buddhi of that person becomes totally sthira and free from all confusion. So sthira buddhihi asammudaha brahmavid, that person has become Brahma, knower of Brahma. The buddhi has become so pure and so tuned and is totally established in that Brahma, he has gained direct realization of himself as Brahma. So such a Brahmavit, Brahmani stitaha, is totally established in Brahma. There is no difference between the knower of Brahma and Brahma. See, in the world, whatever we know with the help of our senses and our buddhi is different from us. So the knower remains different from the known. The known object is there and I am different from it, the knower. But in case of Brahma, the knower is also Brahma, the known is also Brahma, and knowing is also Brahma. The Triputi, the triad of knower, knowing and known, experiencer, experiencing and experienced, this triad dissolves, it becomes one. There remains no difference. Just as when we are sleepy, I say I want to go to sleep, I want to sleep. So I am awake, but I am constantly thinking of sleeping. I want to sleep. So I am awake and the thought of sleeping is there, which has totally engrossed me. I am totally overpowered by that thought. And slowly I become unaware of this world. My senses get withdrawn from the world and I fall asleep. And when I am asleep, there is no difference. The one who was thinking that I want to sleep and the state of sleep becomes one only. There remains no difference. Similarly, the knower of Brahma and Brahma are same. Knowing Brahma is not an intellectual process. Knowing Brahma is not a concept. Knowing Brahma is being Brahma. So Brahmavit, Brahmaeva, Brahmavid, Brahmani stitaha. So this Brahmavid is totally established in Brahma. Further, Bhagavan says how he is established in that Brahma. What is the experience of this enlightened person who is established in that Brahma? That is being said now in the next verse, verse number 21. बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत्सुखं स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते. Bhagavan says that bahyasparsheshu asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. This enlightened person who is brahma yoga yuktatma, whose antakarana is totally established in that Brahma, is merged in Brahma. Bahyasparsheshu asaktatma, he has become totally unattached to the outer forms and outer objects. Bahya sparsha means outer objects. See, from the standpoint of our Sukshma Sharir, when we experience this world, this body is also outside that Sukshma Sharir, this world is also outside. So through our senses we contact this world. We experience the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha of this world. So this is called the Bahya Sparsha. We touch the world as though through our senses. We touch the outer world with our senses. When we go to sleep, when we are dreaming, our senses get withdrawn from this world. So even though we might be sleeping at night, we might be dreaming that it is a daytime. We might be sleeping in Delhi, but we might be dreaming that we are in Kolkata. We might be sleeping in a nice, cozy AC room, but we might be experiencing warm weather in our dream. So what happens when I am dreaming? My senses get withdrawn and they get firmly rooted in the antakarana only. So this gross physical world is outside our dream world. But our dream world is also outside our deep sleep world. So here for an Atmajnani, the whole outer world and the contact with this world through his senses might be there, but he has got no attachment to this world. So Bahya Sparsheshu Asaktatma remains totally detached from the Bahya Sparsha, from the contact with the world outside. No Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha disturbs this person. There is no craving to hear, taste, touch, smell this world. So Bahya Sparsheshu Asaktatma, and simultaneously Vindati Atmani Yat Sukham. Yat Atmani Sukham Tat Vindati. That Sukha, which is of that self alone, he gains that Sukha, or he experiences that Sukha of that self within. So, an ignorant person tries to gain that sukha through the contact with the world. I experience sukha when I do contact Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. But this Atmajnani has dropped all his contact with the world outside and gains that supreme sukha within. His mind, his antakarana is totally established in his own self within. So what type of sukha does he experience? Sukham akshayam ashnute. He experiences limitless, infinite, indestructible sukha of his own self. It means that Atmajnani is fully established in his own self and experiences infinite joy of his own self. This was said in the second chapter also, when Bhagavan was talking about the Sthita Prajna. He said, who is the Sthita Prajna? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmannevatmana tushtaha Sthita prajnastadochyate. Sthita prajna is one who has dropped all his kamanas and one who is totally satisfied in his own self, completely content in his own self. That infinite happiness one gains he gains in his own self. Sukham akshayam ashnute. See, we experience sorrow. One is because we are not aware of our own self. We experience sorrow because we are bound by time, space and object. So wherever there is limitation, wherever there is confinement, wherever there is restriction, wherever there is bondage of any kind, then there is sorrow. But where there is no limitation of space, where one is not limited by space, where one is not limited by time, where one is not limited by any object, there one experiences supreme peace and supreme joy, because that is the very nature of our own self. See, we experience this happiness of our self whenever we go to sleep. In deep sleep state, there is no object limiting us, there is no time limiting us, there is no space limiting us. We experience supreme peace and joy. But it is not lasting. We wake up from there and continue to experience this samsara. But an enlightened person, aware fully, is established in that self and experiences supreme joy. Akshayam sukham ashnute. It's very beautiful. Gains that akshay sukha. Inexhaustible, supreme, limitless happiness is gained by that self-realized person. Therefore, Bhagavan says that this is the goal. All of us are knowingly and unknowingly striving to gain happiness. So Bhagavan says, you follow this path of Karma Yoga, gain that knowledge, do that Karma Sannyas and meditate, and gain abidance in your own self, and gain this supreme joy. So in the next verse, Bhagavan is advising all of us that how we should do our sadhana so that we come to recognize our own self. He says, Ye hi sansparshaja bhogaha dukkhayo naya evate आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः. Bhagavan says that one should withdraw one's attention, one should one should not get attached to the worldly joys and sorrows. One should not get attached to the pleasures of this world, which we gain when our senses come in contact with the world. See, what prevents us from meditating, what prevents us from gaining that abidance in our own self? The attraction for the world and attraction for the joys or the pleasures of this world. When we are paying attention to the pleasures of this world and getting attracted to the world, we will not be able to withdraw our attention towards our own self and gain that abidance. So Bhagavan is telling us the limitations of the joys of this world. Bhagavan says, Ye hi sansparshaja bhogaha, that all that bhoga, all the pleasures which we experience through sansparsha. Sansparsha means when our senses contact the sense object. The senses, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, when they contact the sense object, then we gain the stimuli. And if it is conducive stimuli, we experience pleasure. When it is not conducive to our liking, we experience pain. So through the contact of our senses with the world of objects, we experience pleasure. So generally people, they go after such pleasure and they want to gain more and more of these pleasures. But Bhagavan says that as long as you have that contact with the world, with the object, you experience that pleasure, but then once that contact is over, afterward the result of this is pain only, is dukkha. So he says, Ye hi sansparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonaya evate. All of them are the very source of sorrow and pain. One gets addicted to the pleasures of this world, and these pleasures will not be gained constantly, continuously. Only when our senses are in contact with them, we experience that pleasure. So when they come to an end, we experience pain, we experience sorrow, we experience incompleteness. The more pleasure we experience, equal pain also is experienced when we get withdrawn. So Bhagavan says all these joys of this world are adyantavantaha. They have a adi, they have a beginning, and antavantaha, and they have an end. So Bhagavan says a wise person, an intelligent seeker, a good intelligent sadhak who is following the path of karma yoga should not get attached to these pleasures of this world. Even when we gain self-knowledge and we want to gain abidance in ourself, we should not get attached to the pleasures of this world. Then it will become easier for us to gain what we call karma sannyas and meditate on ourself. But if we are attracted to the pleasures of this world, then it will become very difficult for us to withdraw and gain abidance in our own self. And the pleasures which we experience in this world are anitya, they are temporary, and they are just an appearance. The real source of all joy is our own self only. The object which seems to give me pleasure at one time, the same object start giving me pain at another time. Or the object which gives me pleasure, if I keep on indulging, it will that pleasure keep on reducing, and finally it doesn't give me any pleasure. So the pleasures of this world are very strange. They have a beginning and an end, and Bhagavan says they are the source of all dukkha. You may not realize it when we are indulging in this pleasure, we may not realize it, but Bhagavan says they are source of all sorrow, and they will prevent you from attaining that supreme. So ye hi sansparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonaya evate adyantavant kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Bhagavan says a wise seeker doesn't revel in these pleasures. See, for living in this world, we have to eat, we have to drink, we have to take rest, we have to take care of our body. So one should eat just to maintain the body. But when we start eating to gain pleasure, when we start drinking to gain pleasure, when we start indulging in the sense objects to gain pleasure, then we will get more and more bound. We will become more and more slaves to those pleasures, and it will lead to our downfall. We will get totally stuck in this samsara. We will not be able to come out of this samsara. It's like addiction. See, people know about drug addictions, and a person who gets totally addicted to drugs, it becomes totally difficult for that person. In the beginning, that person feels that, oh, I am in charge of my own indulgence. People start drinking or smoking or taking drugs. In the beginning, they might feel that, oh, it's under my control. I drink whatever I want and I then stop. So in the beginning, they might find that, oh, they are in control. But slowly, they will lose control, and finally the drink and the drug will take over. Then this person becomes totally helpless. Then even if he wants to withdraw, he cannot. He becomes totally stuck. He is totally addicted. So much so that he loses all control over himself. And if at all that person wants to be saved, then he has to be taken to some institution and treated, so that slowly he can withdraw, but he has to face lot of difficulty, lot of challenges. So that addiction is not only to drugs, but addiction is there for all pleasures of this world. And once a person gets addicted, it becomes difficult. So Bhagavan says, you be careful, don't get addicted to the pleasures of this world. They might seem very nice and good, but they are the very source of all sorrow and pain. So please believe in Ishvara's teaching here. If he says they are very source of sorrow, they are source of sorrow. So ye hi sansparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya. They are never lasting. We think that we will gain this pleasure and I will always be very happy, मौज में रहेंगे, खाएंगे, पिएंगे, ऐश करेंगे and all. Bhagavan says it doesn't work like that. It has got a beginning and it has got an end. And that which is only lasting for a short time is not nitya. It's just an appearance. It is a changing existence. One should not rely on that. So, na teshu ramate buddha. The wise person doesn't revel in such pleasures. So, if we have gained that mastery over our senses, we will be able to attain karma sannyas easily. we will be able to meditate on our own self easily. This is a very important step to gain mastery over our senses, not to get addicted to the pleasures of this world. Not that we have to stop all eating, drinking and all. We have to take care of our body, but we should see that we don't get addicted to the pleasures of these senses. Ye hi sansparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonaya evate. They are the very source of sorrow. Adyantavanta kaunteya. They have a beginning and they have an end. Na teshu ramate buddha. A wise person doesn't revel in them, remains totally detached. So while following the path of karma yoga, we should remain detached. Even when we gain self-knowledge and we are practicing karma sannyas, we should get detached. We should not get attached to the sense pleasures. Then we will be able to withdraw and gain that akshayam sukham. Bhagavan says not that you will be denied of sukha. Bhagavan says if you want infinite sukha, you have to drop this little imaginary sukha which you are gaining. Unless you drop them, you will not gain that infinite sukha. Unless I drop the attachment to the pot space, I will not be able to experience the infinite space. Unless I drop my attention towards that little joys of this world, I will not be able to experience that infinite joy. So that is a very important advice which all of us should follow. So more about this we will see in our next class. Today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday, so tomorrow we will not have a class. Sunday holiday, we will not have a class, but I will give you some questions based on what we have studied for this week. We started this 5th chapter and we have studied so many verses. So based on this, I will give you some questions. We'll post those questions today. So you please answer those questions and contemplate on all the things which we have studied. And if you have missed any videos, you can watch them and share these videos with your friends and relatives and different groups, so that more and more people come to know about this great teaching of this Bhagavad Gita. Until then, you stay safe, stay happy, stay peaceful, healthy. Take care of yourself and others. Pray for the welfare of this whole world. And we will meet again on Monday, day after tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 जय जय राम, जय जय राम। बोले सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।